as a father, as a policeman, you've got to learn to forgive people.
The sacrament of reconciliation is a beautiful opportunity to encounter God's merciful love.
I would say service is a ministry of reconciliation. If I'm not going to forgive someone, it's like a cut on my arm that I leave and I don't put any Neosporin on it, and it festers and it gets worse and it gets worse and it gets worse. But when I forgive, that's when the ointment goes in. Mm-hmm. That's when the bandage comes on. That's when it all starts to heal up and starts to mend.
As Jesus tells us, love one another as I have loved you, and to look beyond what prevents us from loving. And it really just relates back to freedom, that like we have the freedom. And I think once we know in the sacrament just how much we are loved, we want to share that with others and to say that like, I know this, and I want you to know this too. And I'm going to show you this by serving, by loving, by being there for you.
So we go every year, we take Santa Claus. Obviously holidays is a tough time for a family in crisis and for a kid not to be with his parents. Santa Claus gives him a present, sits on his lap, and we give him a kind of a great holiday experience. So we had one day, we had a mother who was there. She was in a rehab. She was only allowed out for that day, and she got to see her kid with Santa Claus. And I remember her crying in the corner, and I asked her what was wrong, and she said, I'm addicted to heroin. I've had these issues my whole life. And the family picture I just took with Santa and my children was the first family picture they've ever gotten together. So, for me, that was a big moment, knowing that maybe we had a part in her getting a family picture that she never had before. Her kids were 5 and 3 years old. But she's looking for forgiveness at some point in this by going to get clean and going to rehab and letting her children, put them in a positive environment.
Every time we go out, and it's super powerful every week, but every time we go out and we minister to the homeless, it's almost an act of forgiveness, not that we know what's going on in their lives, but maybe they made a wrong choice, maybe they got in the wrong crowd, and now they're addicted to a substance and they can't get off of that substance. But kind of the forgiveness comes in where we try to be instruments of Christ's peace, vessels of his peace in the world.
Community service is built into us. So once you start doing it, it's addictive. For me, as an officer, to see the impact I had on a family, to help them through a fire or through a loss of a loved one, it's just something that once you get a taste of it, you want to get more.
It's a matter of not just God picking us up or ourselves picking ourselves up, but the community in which we're involved, to say that like we're brothers, we're sisters for one another, and we're gonna look beyond the past and we're gonna move forward to the future with great joy to say, what can we do as far as building the kingdom, serving, loving?
We're all brothers and sisters in Christ, and I think sometimes we forget that. Like, you are a brother in Christ to me, you are a brother in Christ to me, and we forget that, but we need to be mindful of that.